Welcome back to Friday night. It is time for Newsmakers, and tonight in studio, our newsmaker, did you know that her name is actually Muthoni? Esther Passaris, that's Nairobi County Woman Representative. Thank you so much for being with us.
You missed Rosanna.
Rosanna?
I have Rosanna in there.
Wow, okay, yeah. So Esther, Rosanna, Muthoni Passaris. So your ethnicity has for the longest time, Mheshimiwa, been a source of speculations from Kenyans. Where were you born? Who is Esther? Because yes, there is Muthoni there, but then we look at you and then you look, you know how Kenyans speak, you look like a pointee. So who are you? Where were you born?
Okay, born in Mombasa, and my mother is Dutch-Kikuyu and my father is Greek. So I'm a cocktail.
Wow, a cocktail. And you'll see her baby pictures on your screen very shortly. Pictures of baby Muthoni and Rosanna. So that's your dad.
That's my father.
That's
very,
your dad.
Yeah, very handsome.
And that's you. That's the baby.
Yeah, I had a pram. In fact, I'm thinking in the 60s to have a pram, you know. My father must have brought it from Greece.
Oh, wow, that's lovely. And her mum as well is in those pictures. So your path to the limelight began in 1991. There was a Miss Kenya. You are a finalist in that pageant. Tell us about that.
Well, I always loved the idea of modeling, and I modeled a lot when I came to Nairobi. I remember there was a lady called Pamela Bond, and she used to make lovely dresses, local dresses, not like even now I'm wearing local. I've always tried to promote local clothes. So we used to model in all the hotels. It was, you know, people have this wrong thing about modeling that, you know, if you model, you're cheap, or, you know, you're not a decent girl. But modeling is just affirming your beauty and enjoying it. It's so much fun, getting in, changing your clothes, getting out again.
Yeah.
Of course, you get men who hit on you, but if you know why you're there, then you're there. But I had a pact with God that if I don't win to go for the Miss World, then that would be the last night, and I'll get born again the next day. I was kind of scared to get born again and then be modeling. So the night I think I came out number 2. Yeah. So that night, the next day, I went and got saved. Wow. I had an American boyfriend at that time, and he was saved and part of this whole missionary work and stuff.
And that is you. That's you right there on the screen. Again, we'll get a TV.
That's my modeling. Yeah, that's my modeling time.
That's your modeling time. And look at what a beauty you are. But that beauty tag has still remained. And fast forward to now, you in politics. How does the beauty and the brains work to your advantage, if at all? Of course, there are people who will use that beautiful tag, you know, against women, saying that perhaps because you're too beautiful, you might not have what it takes. And then again, there are those who think that perhaps because you're beautiful, you get more attention than you deservedly should, which would then take away from the content, the beauty, and you being brains. You've done Adopt a Light. You are the founder, CEO there. So obviously there's brains behind all this beauty. But what has the reception been over the years, even as you now got into politics?
You know, the perception is not just for me. I mean, okay, I'd love to say that I'm more beautiful in my heart than I am physically, you know, because this is not beauty. This is what God has given me, and I don't own it, because it can go today, okay? And then I still want people to like me because they know the inner Esther. Yeah. So if I lose let's say I get burnt and I lose my face, I still feel that people should like me because of who I am. So I don't look at the outer beauty. I have my moments when I feel beautiful, and I have my moments where I feel, oh my God, no, what's going on? So I feel that women are always accused of sleeping their way up when they're successful. I had my own businesses, so I couldn't sleep with myself. So I had Sharper Images, it was my own company. I had Adopt a Light. I've always been a social entrepreneur. The Sharper Images employ deaf people. I still have the same lady who worked for me in Sharper Images works for me now in my county office. Adopt a Light worked with street families. And right now, even as an MP, I feel that I still want to continue doing good for the people. Right. Everybody has a calling, and my calling is serving the people.
Serving the people.
Bringing them from here to here. I like people to have self-esteem. I think it's important.
And we'll talk about serving the people, but before that, a little bit on your personal life. You are a public figure, but you don't camouflage the truth. You're very vocal, sometimes even on issues surrounding your own life. For instance, you've spoken openly about being in a polygamous relationship. This approach, just speaking your truth and standing with your truth, what's that about?
Somebody once said to me that your life is like a book and every chapter is who you are. So you have to own it. I can't be embarrassed or ashamed of who I am and what I've experienced. I think they're all learning curves, and God puts us through certain experiences so that we can find Him, so that we can understand who we are as human beings. So if I'm ashamed of who I am, I mean, there was a time I battled about being in a polygamous marriage. I didn't plan for it, I ended up in it. I have 2 beautiful children. Those are a blessing to me. My husband and I are, you know, we've had our troubles, but we're good friends, and we love each other, and that's what's most important. And we've raised 2 amazing children, in spite of the fact that, you know, when you're in a polygamous marriage, the father doesn't have enough time. But he tries, and I think, you know, I think Kenya has a lot of polygamous marriages. The only thing is they get messy, and I just hope that mine won't be messy.
So you became an elected legislator, now to politics, after vying and losing on 2 previous occasions. Your experience in this position, is this gratifying? Is this where you always wanted to be? Is this finally your moment?
I want to do a lot more. It's not easy to even bring a law. It's not easy to implement a law. You don't have enough money to serve the people. Like, I have a budget of 6 million in a constituency. I'm supposed to give bursaries. I'm supposed to help businesses grow. I'm supposed to give value addition Chama money. I'm supposed to do a project. With 6 million for the whole year for the entire constituency, it means that in every ward I have 1 million. It's too little. So it's very little to make an impact. But if we can manage with that to show that we're working, hopefully the men in Parliament will allow us to have more. But I've decided to venture out. Like for sanitary towels, they didn't have sanitary towels for community-based schools. They only gave it to public schools. So I had a discussion with the Chinese embassy, and I said, you know, can you help me out with sanitary towels? And they said, look, we'll get back to you. And then they called me and said, we have about $10,000 and we'll give it to you for sanitary towels. So they gave it to me.
Talking about sanitary towels, I saw you actually backing up your Kwale counterpart, Zuleika, and this was after the King Kaka spoken word, Wajinga Nyinyi, and you and your colleague distanced yourselves from his claims that implied that women representatives have been siphoning funds meant to buy sanitary towels.
I actually called King Kaka and I told him that he made a mistake there. But the song is out. The fact is, Gender Ministry was the one with the budget to buy the sanitary towels. What they did is they gave them to the county commissioners, and the women reps made sure that we had a function, and we used our civic money. We educated people on what the sanitary towels is, the girls to be proud, the men to understand, the boys to understand, and then we distributed. We paid for the distribution, so the schools came and collected them. Now it's moved from gender to education. We went to see Magoha, and he's going to use the same platform that he uses to distribute examination papers. But the procedures for tender sometimes are so tedious, and again the budget is little. He needs to look at how many children we have in both community and public schools, and then ask Parliament for that budget. Now let's say he comes and says, I need 1.6 billion, which is what I estimate you need for for Kenya. And the budget committee says, sorry, we don't have 1.6 billion, we're going to give you 500 million. Of course, we won't reach everyone. So the thing is, families also have to take responsibility. I feel that if we go and say that everything has to be done by the government has zero-rated sanitary towels. You can get them for 35 bob. If you have a daughter, if you're going to have a child and you're going to have a daughter, I think you have to understand that she's going to get menstruation. The government is trying, but we don't have enough money. And of course, King Kaka says, why don't you have a lot of money? You've got all these things that are being lost, all this corruption money. So the thing is, the president is trying to address corruption. It's gotten to a point where you can see money lost and development being staggered, and of course sanitary towels, which is important. We give condoms, right? So we have to give sanitary towels.
That is true. Now, you've in the past endured negative comments directed towards you with a lot of grace, and I must say I really admire that, because not a lot of people are able to. We've seen you just go silent even when trolls have come at you or when people have said things about you. But recently, you've come out bare knuckles. You're serving it as hot. as whoever is giving it is giving it. What's that about, your recent social media engagement?
You know, I look at most of the people on social media. First of all, you're dealing with bloggers, and then you're dealing with your competitors creating accounts to just insult and abuse you. I get very angry when you ridicule me or insult me and think that the only thing I have is what's between my legs. So I get very angry, because you've got to understand that, first, I'm a mother. I'm 55 years old. The women, the men who insult might be 25. They're my kids, they're my children. And to try and say the things they say, you know, call you bimbo or insult you and, you know, tell you, oh, go, you know, I was with this singer recently. I flew with him to Uganda, and I posted a picture.
Jadena,
yes, exactly. I didn't even know who he was. In fact, I said,
I'm surprised. There she is with Jadena. Now, I would have literally fainted if I saw him.
Are you serious?
I'm a huge star. I mean, I'm a huge fan of
Okay,
that
so
star.
I sat with his manager on business class. I sat with his manager, and then he said, so we started talking, because, you know, I always talk to people so I get to know, because you never know the next contact who can take you further. So here I am sitting with this guy, and I said, so what do you do? He says, I manage him. So I looked and I said, so who's he? I just saw all this bling bling, and I was like, who's he? And he goes, he's a famous singer. I said, oh, okay. I said, my daughter and my son might know him, so I'll get a picture with him. So I just took a snap with him. In fact, they took it and sent it to me. So that was kind of interesting. He's coming for blankets.
Blankets and wine.
Blankets and wine.
Yeah.
So
I will be there.
I will be there too, just to see. I mean, you know what I like about him? I've been following him and seeing what he does. He has some interesting pens.
Oh, yeah. And so you tweeted about that, and that also became another issue altogether.
Oh, everybody was saying, go toi.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, go to and I'm like, okay.
Kenyans. So, as we wind up, your opinion on how your position has aided the advancement of women in Nairobi County come 2022, Mheshimiwa, will you say that you've really served the women of this county, and are you planning to come back in 2022?
Do you know, I leave everything to God. You know, I feel I live for the moment. Right now, I'm with you. This is the moment that I have. I'm a now person. I'm not, yesterday is my lessons. Today is my experience and my living. Tomorrow is in God's hands. So today, I just try and do the best that I can. I own whatever I do today. I don't plan tomorrow. I can't plan tomorrow. I can tell God that I want this and I want this and I want this. And then I just wait for it to unfold.
But for the women of Nairobi County, what are your milestones? What are you proudest of?
I mean, like just a week ago, we gave out 50 million shillings, 100,000 to women's groups. We gave them a training on how to use this Chama money. There's a woman in Mathare who came to us and she wanted value addition. She trained a number of women in Mathare on cooking, and they used to go for catering. She didn't have plates and shaving dishes and spoons. So she asked us, can you buy this for us so that we don't have to rent? We've given her all the equipment, worth 600,000. We're going to be giving widows sewing machines. We're going to put postal mills. We're going to put saloons, in boost saloons. We're going to put laundries, proper laundries, because I don't like the idea of women going to wash clothes and breaking their backs in these apartments and being paid 200-300 shillings, and at the same time being asked for sex.
Right.
You know, so I'm trying to see how we can, but we don't have space. We need social halls, and we need little mini markets for the women. So there we need a governor that's on the spot and understands what we need, and we work together. I'm doing toilets, sanitation and water tanks. We'll work with Mandeleo. I want to work with the water tanks. So we want to impact them. The most important thing, family planning. I am big on family planning.
Right.
I feel every time I go to an orphanage, the people are having children without planning them. So we need to talk family planning, because we have a population that we haven't got enough jobs for.
Right. And finally, there are those who feel that the Esther Passaris of Adopt a Light got lost in this politics. Do you have any regrets? You know, having been a CEO and having actually lit up Nairobi County effectively and having done so much more for the community, now that you're in politics, looking back, were you better placed as a CEO? Has politics taken away the fire in the belly?
No, you see, the thing is, Adopt a Light, and I also brought the first reflectors for the police.
That's true.
I had a company called Be Seen, Be Safe. I brought dustbins as well. I went to South Africa looking for opportunities. The thing is, Adopt a Light went down because of corruption, and that's what got me into politics, because I wanted to get in and fix it. I love the president's 4 agenda. So food, I'm going to work with a program with MasterCard and Equity to try and get greenhouses, urban farming. Food security is important. I think education is important. UHC, I'm in the health committee, trying to get everyone to get NHIF. I'm so involved with the people, manufacturing, housing. I want to see how we as Kenyans, you and I, can get into the housing program as well.
Right.
So I'm looking at, I had an initiative called Driving Kenya, 1 in a Million, getting people together. I still feel if we had 1 million Kenyans who wanted to invest in Kenya, maximum benefit, minimum profit, 10%, we could actually help the president's agenda. So for me, I feel no regrets. That was part of my life. It was lovely. I still want to get my case over. It's never been able to be concluded.
Yeah.
But all in all, I love everything in my life, whether good or bad, because it's my life.
Right.
So I own it, I love it, I learn from it, and I move forward.
And that is Nairobi Councilwoman Representative Esther Passaris. I must say this to you. You reached out to me last year over Christmas. And in that spirit of Christmas, I was going through a moment and you really encouraged me. And I think that's what women should be for each other. So I thank you and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It is actually great to see that you are a woman representative that has a heart for the women of this country. So all the best and Happy Holidays.
Thank you.
We're taking a short break. We're back with all the day's sports and more. Stay with us.